in 1924, Charles Chaplin began dating Lita Grey, formalizing a relationship that had already paid off professionally in The Kid. Lita Grey was only 12 years old when she achieved some popularity with that movie.
¿Guitarras?
As you wish, but first tell me what your projects are. I guess you've called me to play some other of your characters in your next movie.
Exact, and you will be the female lead in the Gold Rush.
You know very well that The Kid made us both popular. Keep telling me.
Both formalized their marriage in this way. Lita Grey became pregnant at the age of 16 by a 35-year-old Charles Chaplin.
You're going to be like your dad when you grow up, Sydney.
Well, do not have the design and do that, we use it.
I don't know what's wrong with you, silly. Look how you've put the room.
I'm sorry, I will pick it out right now. Perhaps the Gold Rush absorbed me more than expected.
Charlie Chaplin and Lita Grey were married in the city of Empalme, Sonora, Mexico in 1924. At the same time they conceived their son Sidney, who would be born in 1925.
Sir, Paul Goddard has accepted his offer to work in circus. I congratulate your mediation. This is going to be an burst of success.
Both Paulette Goddard and Lita Grey would work on the same film. Neither of them had any objections at first. Partly because Goddard's acting career was just beginning. Lita Grey would give birth to her second child, Charles Spencer Jr., leaving her exhausted and short on time.
Charles, you know that the scenes I have to do I will do with pleasure. I am a happy fan of yours. I think you make Charles happy working with him. That's what matters most to me. By the way, have you heard the latest Charles musical? No, I really want to hear it. Put on the gramophone, Paulette. That one is worth the brush. Two women and a theatrical destiny. You spend all day absent the truth, Carlos. I feel lonely.
That's not true, and you know it. Sir, ready for the screening of the premiere of the circus? I will tell you. Of course, Oscar.
I'm anxious to know how I get out. The truth is that I barely paid attention to what I was doing when I was acting.
The important thing is that it will be a success. You already know that everything is started well and well. We are delighted to come with you to visualize the first circus short, Goddard.
Thank you, Carlos.
The first function of the first part of the circus did not take long to wait. Not even Charles knew how it would turn out, since the short film had not been made by him, but by his professional management team, over which he had no legal and commercial power. Themselves. They were in charge of selecting and editing the scenes shot by the actors, which had been taken at random by the actors. When Lita Grey sees that her countless performances have not been selected for the first part of circus, her helplessness and pain take over her. Charles can't do anything, since he has his copyright restricted by a commercial agreement.
Lord Charles, this is an outrage. How could they have treated me like this? You told me that I would be the female lead.
You know that I do not have the power to select and edit the film. In this case, this is the first part of the film. There is still a lot to do.
I feel helpless. All my work for a couple of scenes.
Come on, Lita. I'll walk you home. Let's take a taxi. The children are waiting for you.
Thank you, Goddard, for your kindness. I'm standing here with Oscar, my secretary. God, I think my marriage with Lita is going to the rock bottom. I don't think she will forgive me for this. What I must be thinking when I was working with them. So, the editing team didn't select more than a couple little scenes?
It doesn't take long for Paulette to appear in Charles's study.
Darling, you have me back again.
I thought you were with Lita.
With Lita hours later, Charles returns to his house accompanied by Goddard.
Charles, your wife, Dot, what's wrong with her?
She is drunk and unconscious. Quick, we have to call the doctor. Too much alcohol. She's in a deep dream. I think she will be fully recovered in 3 hours.
I can't support this kind of man. Is a joke in every way. You are my asset and support. By God I put as a witness, that only to you I will dedicate myself.
Are you sure you want a divorce?
I have nothing to lose and a lot to win. I hate him. He's disgusting in every way.
You will have to be more explicit in your arguments when your family judge takes you and the war.
The retribution that you ask me will have. All you have to do is win the lawsuit, starting with the custody of my 2 children, Sydney and Spencer, who must remain under my complete control.
To take away from Charles the authority of his 2 children, who had a legacy that was no less punishable, the economic.
The press and the media echoed the couple's divorce and their disputes over their children.
Poor boss, I feel sorry for him, her, and her children.
One of the board of directors toasts to Paulette Goddard.
For the new king of the cinema. Sir, do you keep this dog when we go to see them in the contact sessions prepared by the authorities? Of course, it's a short chance that they will let me be with them, but they will like it.
Moments before conciliation, prior to sentencing.
Remember that together we will achieve everything, but not apart.
I did not tell you to take that step.
But you made a fool of me and you ruined my entire career. There are many ways to do one thing to achieve a goal and you did it. You are not going to convince me of your innocence.
I begged you. I only ask you that you let me more conversation with them. The ruling has already been handing down and collaborated by the all parties in dispute. Sorry about it.
Charlie was only granted 3 sessions a year, which were strictly supervised and controlled by the authorities, in which his ex-wife could be present. 50% of them were carried out in his house, guarded by police officers. The other 50% took place in the state departments for the guardianship of minors. At the end of the 20s, something unexpected happened in the West countries. Galloping inflation began to engulf the pockets of citizens. The note printing machines of the main state banks had to change the value of their coins every 2 or 3 times. Then the Wall Street stock market crash, and the unemployment. At the time, Charles was embroiled in divorce disputes with Lita Gray. After several years of trials, he was unable to change the previous sentences. That Black Thursday, the judge of the 11th District of New York issued jurisprudence in favor of his ex-wife, forcing him to pay her $300,000 for her divorce.
Sir, you have a meeting with United Artists Executive at 12:30 p.m. They are waiting for you at the Manhattan headquarters.
Oscar, you are my assistant command secretary. What do you think? I think it's about the company, sir. Have you heard, sir? And? Well, justice authorities had decreased the precaution and suspension of the financial institution. I believe this precaution has led us to ring. Crap, the stock are second to none. We have the best stock workers in the state. Do you think so? Don't you? Well, you will see what the artists are going to tell you today. We are delighted to see you again, Paulette. What do you want to tell me? Do you want to know? Mr. Chaplin, we have very bad news for you. The company has entered with our liquidity due to the worst stock market crash. All artist projects will have to be suspended. We have no guarantee to allow us to stay afloat. Many movie theaters have closed, and those that have remained open is only to pay the box office staff. Investing now is planning to lose the capital is risky. There is no choice to postpone the activity until better change arrive.
Nonsense. That's what the competition wants us to do. Stopping for a single day would be equivalent to losing 10,000 fans. Do you know the effort it takes to earn them? It asks me for an effort that we do not intend to make. Right, shall I?
We do not ask you, but you will do assuming a decision that comes out of the executive board. You have the right to speak, but also the obligation to accept the result.
What can be lost?
All the real estate, the studios in Hollywood, the mobile park, all. That is why it's better that we let it around before we continue our projects. Otherwise, our company will end up being the shadow of the crisis. You will see that when they return on your activity, everything will be different, both and for everyone.
So,
Rex, the vacation that you...
The United Executive voted in favor of temporarily ceasing its activities to avoid bankruptcy.
Good luck on your vacation.
See you later, darling. Pennsylvania for holidays? I understand it's the most beautiful state in the Northwest. What do you say, sir? Don't tell anymore, and let's go before we change our mind.
Charles soon hung up his bomber hat and cane. It moved both externally and internally. Of course. He chose his faithful secretary, Oscar Barnley, as a traveling companion.